So, I know the 20th anniversary isn't technically for a little than a couple weeks, but what the heck? It's now or never, and I thought before I analyze my other things, a couple of my favorites animated films or just films full stop this year, I thought I would give you just a little taste of just a banal. So, in this Disney Plus whole, I look at the previous adaptation of Haunted Mansion from 2003, starring Eddie Murphy, Wallace Shawn, and Terrence Stamp, among others. So let's begin. And as per usual, be a bit of backstory. Whenever I try to do this, when I talk about a film that I personally saw on some capacity, not after initially released, I didn't see it theatrically, but I did see the ads very frequently on TV with the barbershop quartet heads main, and even at the time, it was nigh impossible to turn on Disney or its affiliates, Nickelodeon, or or Cartoon Network, and not see them in that time frame. And even though it technically made a back its budget back worldwide doubly, but it was still considered a something financial disappointment. So just so you don't get the mistaken impression reading headlines today that things are performing as a new phenomenon from them or other studios, and it was that. And this film actually did open at number one when it originally released in 2003, but word of mouth got out fairly quickly, and it did not stay that way at all, man. Oh, and to be absolutely fair, there were quite a few heavy hitters. There's that holiday season, and which ones I brought up before, such as The Last Samurai, I, I, the dramedy Someone's Gotta Give, and of course the year's biggest hit. It's The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, and it was out of theaters. Hers, hers, hers by April of 2004. And I actually saw it on Stars. Hers when I was in Nevada, and I'm on their theme park adaptations, and it's definitely one of their lost their efforts. I mean, to the point where I didn't think it was such a big deal that that the newer version ended up being some of the improvements. I mean, what the heck can I say? Pirates of the Caribbean, it's not. And to be absolutely fair as I can, this is not the worst film. In the 2000s, Eddie Murphy he starred in had to read Lolan. That is a decade where Norbit and the Adventures of Pluto Nash saw release after all. But still, it hasn't particularly held up too well, I might be completely honest. I mean, occasionally there's a joke that lands. I mean, especially kind of like where his son is instructed to kill a spider in his room and finds among his magazines the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition. As I recall, finding that in the mailbox at that age was around the time I was given the talk. You know the one. And but for everyone like that, or some elements that actually do seem to get this dark atmosphere and some of the dark humor of the ride as well. There's a lot of others that don't pan out as well. I still some other Jennifer Tilly was a bit miscast in Madame Leota, where she I do kind of like how at least tried to get in how the counterpart on the ride I spoke in riddles to give a solution, and but her delivery just doesn't really work for this. I mean, I swear, it seems like it'd be more at home with her recurring role in the Chucky films, kind of, where at which point I had no problem with Jamie Lee Curtis, one of the OG Scream Queens, in the reboot, doing this, especially after the success of the Halloween trilogy, and as well as Everything Everywhere All at Once. Also, the practical effects, and especially the makeup by Rick Baker, are some of the few elements that do manage to stand out at me. I mean, the mansion itself, we're not quite as memorable as a ride is based on, is a relatively nice set, admittedly. I mean, all things considered, I mean, if it does take a sweet time to get there, I mean, both I get and the whole idea of he and his wife being real estate agents, I could definitely tell how that was made before or the '08 financial crisis. I mean, especially he with trying to close on the house on the actual mansion, and though the CGI has of the aged quite a lot. I mean, like not just to our modern sensibilities, even at the time it was a bit more or lo-fi compared to the ride and its many incarnations over the years, which I managed to endure even after this movie has become forgotten as something odd curiosity, just more with the curious. I mean, I don't know about waiting until 2043, but I do have to wonder if this is yet another source material where the film adaptation was done by the Muppets. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those kind of situations. Understandably, the dire reception this film endured, or it made it so it would take 20 years to even attempt another theatrical adaptation, and which I still would argue is a better movie than this, but I, I'm not sure whether it was like the Barbenheimer success or the fact that it just cast a shadow, this adaptation cast a shadow that was much longer than I imagined. Maybe both. We're in quite the transitional period for cinema at this stage. I'll be getting into this with other videos I got in mind, but it's definitely going to be a period of trial and error for many respects. I do emphasize the error, I would say. Anyway, hey, I might as well start wrapping this up. Bottom line, this isn't as bad a film as I as others have claimed, but I do kind of understand why it has not held up very well for others and myself. I mean, it is, shall we say, painfully average to sit through. I mean, it's something you just leave on in the background, and when it's on TV, kind of like that. Fortunately, I got other films which would be even more interesting topics to address as fairly soon. Let's just say that I've got a lot of stuff planned out the next couple weeks to hedge my bets. That'll be all for now, so take care, everyone.